that I do, I have a lot of haters. Even though I do good thing, must be ada orang mencarut one or whatever that you do. I remember there was this guy called Mr. Young. He said like, if every company has someone like you, we will bankrupt.
Okay.
I was like, do you even know what is my background? Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Bebel HR, hosted by
Victor
and AuntyHR. Okay, so what have you been busy lately, Victor?
Busy lately. Just work lah, nothing much lah.
Just work, nothing much.
What have you been up to?
I am busy doing nothing. I took maybe some sort of sabbatical for 2 weeks now.
Shock.
So shocked. So I've been doing a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of thinking. Anyway, I want to thank everybody. We have reached 5,000 subscribers already. Yay!
On where?
On YouTube.
Oh wow! Congrats.
Landmark. First 5,000. Oh my God, it's so hard.
So auntie, you can belanja every one of them makan already lah. They've been working hard.
But 5,000 is not the goal. 100,000 is the goal.
Okay, all the
because
best.
I want that plug.
So you can take photo with it, right?
The plug is motivating me right now. So the past 2 weeks I've been doing a lot of drinking, thinking, like that lah. So today we're going to talk about, can my social media posts get me fired? So people always say,
We extend a bit, auntie. Let's not only talk about social media posts. We talk about, can your personal conduct outside of work also get you fired?
That's a good one.
Yeah, so we campur lah.
We campur. Okay, so for starters, people say that this is my social media account So I have the freedom to post whatever I want. Then on top of that is outside working hours. Actually, there's a case like that. Okay, so the question is, can my boss fire me because of my social media post?
It depends on how it's posted. So let's have a distinction here lah. If you are an employee, right, and your social media profile is, let's say, locked, and there's nothing in your social media profile that says you work for this company, you have not taken any pictures of your team building with the logo of the company, and then suddenly you made a very, let's say, a bad comment or something that goes against the print, or you just bitch about your boss lah. But you didn't mention the name of your boss. You just say, I have a boss. My boss like to wear the orange jacket, which is so ugly. Example lah.
Okay.
Right? Just criticizing, but not identifiable. So to me, nothing wrong. Because there needs to be a line drawn between your private space and the space where you consider yourself at work. So identifiable or not is number one. Number two is whether that post would cause any disparaging or any reputational loss to the company. If it does, or it disrupts the company in any way, then I would say that's when the company can start to take action.
So what is the charge if that is the case? Like, let's say I don't have a social... The easiest charge would be, companies should have a social media policy, which have the do's and don'ts of how you conduct yourself, even it's your own account. Or in this case, let's say the company don't have this kind of policy, what will be the charge be?
The charge would be the company must be able to prove that the company's interest or the company's reputation.
So in a show cause, right, what am I charging them?
Breach of company's reputation?
Breach of company's reputation.
Most likely it will be breach of company's reputation. But you mentioned there's no policy lah. Otherwise, if there is a policy, it's breach of the company policy of code of conduct law. Yeah. So the other one that could possibly be fitted in there is unprofessional behaviour lah.
Oh, that is so great.
Yeah. Possibly fitted in there. But if you want to have a stronger case as an employer, it will always have to be reputational loss. So how that particular post or how that particular conduct has caused reputational loss for the company. Then when you prove your case at a DI and all that, you have to prove how the company's reputation was affected by this post.
Okay.
Banyak example lately.
Banyak example like contohnya ada ini satu burger joint ni.
Yeah, so if we use that into context lah, you think about, that was a comment, right, made by an individual. In that comment was made in a private setting with a private social media account.
Yes.
But that comment actually sparked an uproar.
Yes.
And a lot of people have been talking about the company, that this person, this position of this company said this. Then there's a lot of comments, negative comments. So that has somehow affected the company's reputation. Because everybody is now showcasing the company. This person worked for this company. This position of this company made this comment.
And of course, he's at a very senior position.
Correct. That is always an aggravating factor. The more senior you are,
Yes.
it aggravates the misconduct.
case, yes.
Yeah. So big point that all employers need to take note, or also employees need to take note, is it must be reputational loss. So anything with not only social media, even when it comes to
So I
private
cannot
conduct.
say simply go social media, oh kerja I sangat banyak, boss I tak supportive. I cannot say boss I tak supportive. Oh, I have a lot of work, I cannot finish my work. Like this kind of
I think you can say that.
complaining, okay what?
Complaining is perfectly fine. So
Because it didn't cause a social media uproar, right?
correct. So if you look at cases, right, they always like to use this phrase lah. The employer is only entitled to be concerned if it directly affects the company's legitimate interests. That means only if it affects the company in a public setting.
But let's say if I post something so innocent like that, don't know what happened. The stars and the moons are aligned. How right? Tiba-tiba a lot of people complaining. They say, oh, I know this girl. She worked at this XYZ company. Buruk lah like that.
Correct. Then if the company is being mentioned, then somehow the company's reputation is at stake as a result of your post. Then the company can start to take action. So I think the person who's posting, nowadays a lot of keyboard warriors, I realize. Yeah. For every single post, you can see a lot of comments. But sometimes as an individual, I look at the comments, right? And I feel that a lot of these comments are one-sided. People don't understand, two sides of the story, and then they just whack. Maybe sometimes this keyboard warrior behavior can cause certain effects like this, implications like this, like the employee can, because of one innocent post, now the company is going to take action. So I feel that the person posting needs to understand that there's a certain element of risk lah.
And in this case, at the burger joint, if I know the case correctly, it's not even a post, it's a comment.
It's a comment, yeah.
It's not even the post.
Correct. It's just a comment.
It's just a comment that all these netizens like to comment about. I also like to read comments nowadays. It's funny to see how other people are emotionally reacting to something.
Yeah. So I also recently, Terasa, you saw my TikTok video, no?
Victor was involved in a high-profile case in East Coast, and while the person making the video viral, abang ni ada kat belakang, latar belakang dia.
So I was actually looking at the comments.
So got people mention you or not?
No, nobody mentioned me. But when I look at the comments,
they probably think you're with the government, okay? The way you dressed. Because he was wearing this very suave blue jacket with a pin. Like sangat uniform.
But I terasa also. Honestly, I terasa when I read the comments, because I felt that it's not a correct reflection of, people don't know what's happening.
Yes.
Then they just whack on it.
But you have to see the way that TikTok was posted. They achieved the objective. Right? All these are immediate reaction. People don't look at a social media post and let me think about it. Like, what is the pros and cons? Then I put down the comment. When people are commenting, it's an instant reaction. They see the post, they don't go through the process of thinking, wow, where can I get?
Yeah, correct. So that's why the person who's posting need to be careful lah. Because everything that you post,
correct.
you need to understand that,
including your comments.
Yeah, you need to understand that if this thing goes viral and if it forms a negative perception for the company,
yes,
which resulted to reputational loss, the company can take action.
Okay. There is also another case that I know in a national airline. Somebody also put in a comment in Facebook, not even his account, also commenting about something about politics. I also got fired.
I think this is the case where it got political and they use some not so nice terms lah.
Yes, correct.
They use terms like lembu or something like that.
Yes.
So when you use those terminologies to reflect your company, and the company will somehow say that, oh, this had went viral, a lot of people commented, and this is how you describe the company, and then let's say they dig back and say,
he did describe the company.
He did?
He
didn't?
did.
I don't think he did, right?
He didn't.
But then his profile made him identifiable that he works for this company.
Because the profile made him, which means if I nak menganjik kat social media, right, I cannot update where I work lah.
Not only where you work, what about pictures that you have taken within the company? Let's say you take a photo with the company 招牌 in the past, then people know that you're working there. Then suddenly you menganjing like that about the management. Then the company will say, yeah, this has caused reputational loss because that's not a reflection of what the company is. So in other words, kena hati-hati lah, I feel. You cannot rely on the excuse that this is my private space, this is my private account, so the company cannot do anything. That is not a valid excuse. But draw the line between normal basic complaint, boleh, you can complain. But when you start to use harsher terminologies, then I think that's when it sparks.
Because it reminded me a lot about when I first came out on social media. My bosses also make noise about it because of my profanity.
Okay.
I also kena banned by TikTok. Not banned, suspended by TikTok 4 times. Then they addressed me, So if some of the posts which they found offensive, I deleted it. Because this is also first time they have a KOL in the company. They also didn't know how to deal with me. And some more, I am a person of very importance. They also cannot afford to piss me off.
Just now I mentioned private conducts, right?
Yes.
So let's take away social media.
Like my case, if they really take action against me,
You mean your company?
My company for unprofessional behaviour would be the charge, right?
Yep.
But because of my popularity, I brought in new business to the company.
So this one a bit grey area in the sense where some things don't align with the values of the company.
Because you know why? I realized that a lot of content creators today I see in the market, like for example, Tau Fulo, Marisa, they all have a full-time job, and this is something outside. So can that...
The world also needs to change perception a little bit. So I think the world is now stuck at a place where we don't know how to react to this kind of thing. So I'll give you an example. Let's just say, yours wasn't a case of profanity, using vulgar languages and all that. Let's just say you are in a very serious profession. Okay, and then at the workplace, you are viewed as, super high professional. You dress up very nicely. Then at the back, social media, you wear your bikini and dance every night. Is that the values and the reflection that the company want? Because that makes you identifiable. Let's say you work in this company. You have a private public profile.
Which means this company hires hot chicks.
Let's just say example.
Then it will lift up the reputation of the company, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you dance in the office, let's say.
But it's unprofessional
correct.
Right?
So to me...
But it benefited the company. That is the one that I always question mark.
Correct. So to me, I don't think every case leads to a termination or things like that. I think this is something you can slowly develop. You can have a chat with the employee, understand why is this going on, what are your objectives for this on social media. Try to understand and try to find somewhere in between If you really don't like it, tell the employee, can you take away all things related to the company, just keep it to your private profile, because that's something you cannot control. If the employee likes to use harsh words, if the employee likes to scold people like Auntie on... I miss those days when you go online and you scold.
I was past 2 weeks.
So if you have certain employees like that, then you have to understand what's the objectives and try to meet in between. I don't think it necessarily leads to termination instantly
Okay.
But when I mentioned about values, right, Auntie, you think about it, values, recently we also seen in the news certain high profile people, they got terminated from work because of extramarital affairs, for example.
Yes!
So
the latest one is a FMCG company.
Yeah, so that wasn't really related to a social media posting, but that is more of a private conduct.
Yes,
right?
It's a private conduct, yes.
It's a private conduct that the company found that they didn't wanted to accept it because it doesn't reflect the value. So the employee can always argue that that's whatever I have out there is not related to work.
And it's also because the company has a policy of if you have a romantic relationship, you need to declare, which they didn't. So it's a breach of policy.
Okay.
That is why I think policies are important.
Yes, agree. So when it comes to social media, I think it is very, very important to define what's acceptable, what's not. When it comes to unprofessional behavior, it's also important to define it's impossible for you to capture every single thing.
Yes.
But have a policy on that. So like
Yes.
office relationships, also important to have one.
Yes.
At least to a declaration. So if you really want to take action in future as a company, you can rely on these policies. But more importantly, I don't think the policies should be there as bullet. It should be there to educate the employees so that they understand.
that thought.
Yeah, they understand that, oh, if I have a relationship with a colleague, I need to inform somebody.
I give you a situation. What if I update my WhatsApp status? Something like very menganjing one lah. Orang suka menganjing, babi suka menyalak. No. Terbalik. Orang yang suka menganjing memang selalu menyalak. Full stop like that. And then boss capture screen and say, I know you're talking about me.
That one terasa.
But I know you're talking about me because today I shouted at you.
Okay.
Can get terminated or
No,
not?
I don't think so. To me, it's very difficult to make it identifiable. There's too many excuses that the employee can get. I can say that I'm talking about my mother lah, I'm talking about my friend lah, and it doesn't relate in any way to you. So maybe I can just say that why you terasa so much, even though we had an argument. But if I mention, kerja dekat sini memang what, then it makes it different because it makes the company identifiable.
As long as the company is not identifiable.
Yeah. So identifiable by itself, to me, tak cukup. Identifiable is stage 1. Stage 2 is how does that cause reputational loss. But once you make it identifiable, then easy for the company to say reputational loss because it has gone out to the
I
public
like this.
space.
So what the boss was feeling is invalid lah in this case.
Yes.
So you feel marah ke, dia kurang ajar ke,
Correct.
You cannot take disciplinary action against this person. I like that.
One thing that I want to highlight, because we're talking about social media, something that I personally have been experiencing lah. Not me myself, but I've seen it a lot. We are going to have another episode on bullying.
Yes.
But since we're on social media, there's a lot of cyberbullying going on.
Yes.
So what if an employee cyberbullies somebody, who happens to be a colleague, and then they are doing this outside a work context. So let's say they are talking about a football match, or they are talking about something, and then it goes on and on and on and on. Can that now be a valid complaint within the company?
Can ma? Because both also work there, way.
Correct. Both also work there, but both are talking about something unrelated. Okay lah, give you classic one lah. 2 girls fighting over 1 guys.
That disrupting one definitely can.
2 girls fighting
that one
over 1
banyak
guy.
policy breach.
Okay.
But there is also something called disrupting the harmony of the workplace ma.
Correct. So there's always something that the threshold that the company needs to pass. So the company needs to understand, I want to take action, there must be a threshold. When is the time when the company should get involved? So for HR leaders out there, I think my recommendation is, in all of this equation, right, you must take away the emotional factor. It's very important to do that, because when you are the person there and you're affected emotionally, sometimes you make emotional decisions instantly, right?
Yes, of course, definitely.
So first thing is take away the emotional factor, and then second, understand, has it passed the threshold which allows me to intervene? If it hasn't passed the threshold, company should just stay away or have private conversations. Pass the threshold, take action. Yeah. So employees, on the other hand, you need to understand, nobody is stopping you from posting anything. You can post. It's your free will and liberty.
Yes.
But you need to understand that there is also a threshold. If you pass that threshold and it causes reputational loss to the company, or it affects the interests of the company can take action.
And honestly, in today's day and age, it's something that you cannot predict.
Yeah.
So every negative thing that you post on social media is a risk. I would say this, spread more love, post happy things.
Yeah, I agree lah.
All these angry thoughts, orang menganjing, keep it offline.
Yeah, and the emo thoughts. People like to post these kind of things. Why?
Because it's entertaining. Hey, it's entertaining. Every time I go to the comment section, I will see how angry people will find anything to be angry about.
Okay.
Anything.
As a closure to this episode, can I ask you a personal question?
Ask.
You've been very popular. Your sort of your current day career sort of bursted out to the scene because of social media, am I right?
Yes, correct.
What about the haters? I'm sure you've experienced a lot of haters.
Yes. I have a lot of haters.
Bagi sikit example kan?
Can. I remember.
People say they don't like your voice. They don't like your...
my voice. They find
What about your laughter?
My laughter. Okay. Everything that I do, I have a 97%, 3% ratio. 97% of the people will like, 3% people don't like.
Okay.
Anything. Even though I do good thing, like I do charity, this one do charity for show only lah, not for real.
Okay.
Must be ada orang mencarut one or whatever that you do.
Okay.
Must have.
Bad? Was it bad?
Initially, yes. Then I got used to it. But
Okay.
I never forget lah. So I remember there was this guy called Mr. Young. Coincidentally, it's Mr. Young.
Okay. Okay. Well, find opportunity to taruh balik lah.
He went to put on my social, we were talking about HR that time, talking about basic employment rights, right? It says like, if every company has someone like you, it will bankrupt. Some sort like that lah. Or she doesn't know anything, she's not an entrepreneur, she doesn't know how to run a business. A lot of those comments, Okay. I was, do you even know what is my background? In my 20 years in the corporate law, I only do HR 7 years, I'm managing P&L, 400 million P&L for 20 years, wait.
Okay, relax. So this is what I mean. Take away the emotional part.
They see. So this is how it was, how it was.
Correct.
And of course, eventually I just find it funny. I find it funny, like, how do you think 我一個小女人 can bankrupt your company? I took it as a compliment, okay?
Okay.
I was like, wow, I've made it.
But the point I see why I wanted to hear a little bit about your haters was because there's just so much happening on social media. Whatever you do, there's always two sides of the story.
Yes,
okay, the ratio might be balanced or imbalanced, but there's always someone who's ready to say something wrong against you. People just need to understand that this can be a very toxic environment, I feel. I'm very, very supportive of social media, but when I read comments nowadays, so negative, so lopsided, I feel that sometimes I just hope that the narrative can be a bit clearer and people can be a bit fairer, because all of this can actually land people in trouble, I feel. Right? Employment trouble. Even comments like this.
You know what I do? I discourage. I don't want to encourage. At least I don't encourage. Not to say discourage. I don't discourage. Because the moment you discourage, you are joining the keyboard warrior team. So the very least that I do, I don't react to the post. I don't like, I don't comment, I scroll. I don't want to be part of the people who is contributing to the popularity of this negativity.
Correct. I agree. So when it comes to corporate social media, I think it's the same. When it comes to managers having to deal with social media issues, they're not like you kena taruh until you muka sudah tebal. But then but
it took me a while, right? It took me a while.
But can you imagine the very first day when you saw that first negative comment? Sure, you terasa, right? That's what's happening to every single...
Actually, that was my first 1 million video on TikTok.
Okay.
I was scolding my haters. Now you reminded me who was my first person I blocked on TikTok. He say I look ugly. I score. Then I posted that part, right? It hit 1 million views. See, people love to see this kind of shit.
Okay. But people must learn how to deal with this kind of emotional setbacks. And then learn how to not wage a war because you see and hear something, but move on towards it. Nowadays, a lot of wars, private wars going on social media because somebody said this, somebody said that. And if this escalates into the company, then yes, actions have to be taken. Quite unnecessary if you ask me in this day and age. Two people fighting and then becomes a company-related case.
As long as it affects the work dynamics, then it will be a company problem. You're having an affair outside, you guys fight with somebody else. Actually, I just have one follower who messaged me about he was caught in a fight outside. Then, when they bring to lock up, they will sapu everybody. So he was a collateral damage. So he was charged together. Then he got fired by the company. But it's activity outside.
Correct.
The company.
Correct. So the company again need to prove. Yes, company very easy to take emotional decisions to make emotional decisions. But company need, again, that threshold. How has that arrest affected the company? right? Even if the arrest is for something very, very serious.
Because they can say something something very simple only, you committed a crime.
But not proven until the court process is over. Right? Being arrested doesn't necessarily mean
But
that
he
you've
got in a
committed.
fight. So I can also say that I don't know when it's going to burst in the company and start fighting. So based on that, can terminate.
To me, not strong enough.
Not strong enough.
Unless that person has been convicted by the court. And then if that social media clip came on Facebook or whatever, and then
But if social media clip came, definitely can already, right?
then it makes the company identifiable to say this is an employee of what company.
I
Then boleh lah.
see.
Yeah. But if just merely an arrest, no news, nothing, I don't think that's strong enough to justify a termination.
There you go. The word of the day is the company identifiable.
Yeah, identifiable and interest must be affected.
Okay, so before we close, what would you advise to employers to do when it comes to all this social media?
We mentioned earlier policy. Yes, I think policy and education very, very important. Nowadays, there's a lot of people who are not focusing on educating employees on what's accepted, not accepted on private social media spaces. This is, this is not compliance. This is just educating employees about what's acceptable within this company. This is how we want to portray ourselves. I feel that this is just, in your orientation, onboarding process, this is something that can be included.
Yes,
right? So those
definitely.
just socializing this rather than waiting for something to happen and taking action, thinking whether you can take action or not.
Or hire E2 Workforce Consulting.
Thank you.
What do you call it? The service, retainer services. Subscribe to the retainer
correct.
services.
Auntie has been busy promoting us.
Yes. So you subscribe to it, then they will come to your company and make sure everything is in order, including firing people you are very emotional attached with legally.
Yeah, maybe after this, Auntie want to keluar with all the new poster already.
Yes, it will come soon. It will come soon. Thank you all for watching today. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.